Hi, this is Lori Johnson with Hancock Whitney Bank, and you're listening to Local Leaders, the podcast. Visit localleadersthepodcast.com for previous episodes or for information on appearing on the show.
The fitness industry in the U.S. is a $30 billion industry that over the past 10 years has seen a growth rate of about 3 to 4% annually. Currently, about 20% of American adults have a fitness club membership of some sort, a number that I think could easily double in the next 10 to 15 years. All of that being said, timing is everything, and like any business, how you innovate when unforeseen circumstances such as COVID shutdowns threaten your business, they can make or break you. She overcame the COVID shutdown just shortly after opening and discussed the vast programs her business offers to ladies all over Livingston Parish. So with that, welcome Brittany Powell of Fearless Fitness to Local Leaders, the podcast.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here today.
I am excited that you're here, and a lot of your fans and friends on Facebook are excited, and we want to get into all the awesome things that set your business, Fearless Fitness, apart. But first, let's get into a little bit about you. Let everybody learn who you are. Tell us where you grew up and a little about your family.
I grew up in Denham Springs. I went to a small private school from kindergarten to 12th grade, which is where I met my husband, and
So y'all are high school sweethearts.
We are. We started dating at 14.
Wow, okay.
Yes, very young.
Lucky you. You found the one early on.
Very, very young. And then we got married at 21. He went to college. I kind of just worked to just help support him, and then we moved to Watson once we got married, and that's pretty much it. Then we moved to Livingston. I got into fitness. We moved to Livingston, and now we're here.
Yes, and you left out that you have 9 dogs.
We do. We actually have 9 dogs, 2 cats, and, well, we had 2 chicks. One died this morning, and then a rooster and 3 hens.
Oh, wow.
We have a farm in the middle of town.
Yes, you absolutely do. Awesome. That's got to be a lot to keep up with.
It is.
Wow. 9 dogs.
It's a circus 24/7 in our house.
So
all the time.
All the time. I can imagine. And so are your dogs all the same breed, or are they a bunch of different breeds? Or?
They are a bunch of different breeds.
Okay.
We have, my husband's a registered vet tech, so obviously we have...
Well, that makes sense.
4 or 5 are rescues, and then 4 we've gotten from breeders.
Fantastic.
So they range from like a little Chihuahua mix to a golden doodle.
Oh,
that
wow.
doesn't even look like a doodle, but you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you got to love that, and your husband being a vet tech, it totally makes sense that y'all have a lot of pets around there. I've got a little Dotson that we've had for 13 years that is like amazing, and they're like people. I mean, they even sleep in the bed like people. It's weird.
We have 2 that sleep with us, and even last night I told my husband, I was like, literally 5 of them were having attitudes yesterday. Like, you would talk to them and they'd roll their eyes, they'd huff, they'd puff. I was like, oh my goodness. It's like kids.
I love it. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes even more spoiled than most kids. So you're a fan of reality TV?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Housewives fan. We watch most of the Housewives. We watched The Bachelor and Bachelorette for a while, Jersey Shore.
Oh,
I love good
love
reality TV shows.
Yeah, I was into those for a long time. Orange County Housewives, I started watching kind of first. I never got into the other ones really.
Oh, Jersey's where it's at.
Is it really?
Those girls are crazy.
Huh.
Yes.
Seems like Jersey girls would be crazy for some reason. So yeah, no, I'll have to check that one out. Orange County, that was like the first one, and I never got beyond it. So, but I do see the previews, and they're like throwing wine glasses at each other,
flipping tables, like all sorts of stuff.
Awesome. And you love Colorado.
I do. We got back in June. We went for a week for our anniversary, and we were in Vail for a week. It was amazing.
Oh, wow. I bet that was beautiful.
We've been to Breckenridge. Breckenridge, and we're going back to Steamboat Springs the end of September.
So you do a lot of skiing when you're there?
I actually have never skied, surprisingly.
Really?
We went last November to Breckenridge, and ski season wasn't open, so we didn't do it. And then it was closed when we went. But also my livelihood's teaching,
Yes.
so I don't want to do something and break a leg and not be able to do something.
And it's very possible with with skiing. I'm gonna tell you, I've done it one time. It was not in Colorado. It was actually in North Carolina, where a buddy of mine lives, and went to visit him. And it was at the end of the season, so it wasn't really snow as much as it was ice.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm one of these people that think I can do anything the first time I try it. And so I actually could stay up good. Like I could go down the mountain, no problem. Couldn't stop.
Yeah, that's what scares me.
Yeah, couldn't stop. He's like, just cross your skis, like turn them in a V. And I could not grasp that concept. So how I would stop is I would literally throw my body on the mountain. I would just tumble. He would laugh and laugh. It was. I'm so glad there's no video of that. Yeah, it hurts when you fall. I mean, it did for me anyway. So you're in the fitness business. My question is, have you always been someone that's kind of enjoyed working out, staying fit, those sort of things, or was this something that came later on?
It's really something that came later on. Like in high school, I was never athletic. Like I played volleyball. That was the only sport I played. At PE, I was the girl in the outfield, way out. So I didn't have to catch the ball. I didn't have to run after anything. Like I just wasn't into sports, into really fitness. And then at about 24, 25 is when I started getting into it.
And what kind of pushed you into that? Or I don't want to use the term push, but what got you into that? What was the kind of light switch for you that, you know, I'm going to start getting into fitness?
Really? This sounds terrible. I had been married for like 2 to 3 years. And I was that person, and I was like, I don't want to be that person that doesn't fit in their clothes anymore because they got married.
Yeah.
So I started working out mainly just because, you know, I had gained those first couple pounds from being married for a couple years.
Oh, yeah.
So I had started for that, and then I realized just mentally it helped me so much. So I had started like working out at home with like some program I was doing there, and I realized I loved it. Like it quickly became like, I don't want to say obsession because that sounds terrible, but it really did. Like I felt better. I looked better mentally. It helped me.
Yeah.
So I've been going since then.
Well, and it's look, if you got to have an obsession, working out would be a good one to have.
I mean, there's a lot worse things I could be addicted to. So
yeah,
you're doing good.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you know, the interesting thing that I find with exercise is that it kind of raises that serotonin, and it makes you just feel good.
It does.
You know, you feel better about yourself, and
yes,
and all of those things. Your mental well-being is as important as your physical well-being, and they kind of tie in together.
Yes.
When you're physical, you get out there, you're moving, and all of those sorts of things. It really helps your mental well-being as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that you pretty much specialize in now at Fearless Fitness.
Yep.
Now I want to talk about your fitness experience prior to opening Fearless Fitness. You taught classes and things like that at other gyms at one point?
I did. I taught classes at, when I first started group classes, I went to a martial arts studio in Watson, and one of the instructors ended up opening up his own gym with his cousin. So he asked me to be an instructor, which was my first time ever instructing. So I was there for about a year to a year and a half. Then I took a little break and kind of did people, even in Watson, like in my house, like just people I knew. And then I ended up at Pilates Plus in Denham for about 2 to 3 years.
Wow.
Yep.
Pilates is tough too. It
is. It's a good workout.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So you definitely had some experience prior to, you know, jumping out there and opening up Fearless Fitness, and at some point this experience led you to opening Fearless Fitness in Livingston. Prior to that, you actually launched your business in your garage for a little while?
I did. We had moved to Livingston in November of 2018. And in January, I had gotten with a couple girls from my church and was like, you know, New Year's resolutions, y'all want to be healthier. Like, I want to train people. Y'all can just come to my garage. Like, didn't even charge them. Like, we were just in my garage, like 5 girls having fun, like girl time talking. We'd be like, whatever happens in the garage stays in the garage.
That's a T-shirt.
Yes.
It's got to be.
So then, like, random people might pass by and they would see us working out in the garage. And I had, like, one girl I knew kind of had asked me if I'd be interested in having her and a couple friends. And I was like, yeah, I guess. Like, I don't know any of these people. They're coming to my house. Like, great. I'm going to get murdered. So they ended up coming. And then it just, like, I would meet someone at the nail place. And they'd be like, oh, you teach out of your garage? And I'd be like, well, not really. But, I mean, if you want to come, sure. And then eventually, like, I launched. We were in my garage for about 3 to 4 months, and it got really crowded and really hot because it was about April. Closed-in garage was not very fun. And then we ended up moving to the park in Livingston, and we were there the dead of summer from April to September. And then we got in my building.
So you were actually in the park.
We were in the park. We were like, they have a big pavilion, and we were under the pavilion. My car was like a gym. I had a wagon that I kept in my car. All my equipment, no one could ever ride with me. All my equipment was in the back of my car. I'd load it all up in the wagon, towed it to the pavilion, unload it, load it back up, bring it to my car. Every day of the week.
Yeah, no kidding. And loving every minute of it.
I did. I loved. Sometimes I'll pass by the park and I'll be like, oh, I kind of miss it. Like, just not the. I love my air condition though. So
yeah, you miss it for about 5 minutes.
I miss it in the winter time, not so much in the summer.
No doubt about it. I get that 100%. Now, tell me about that. You know, what led you to the saying, "I am really going to do this." Or to saying that and starting the process of looking for a location for Fearless Fitness. So you're out there, you're doing your thing in your garage. And then, I mean, eventually you came to a point where you said, you know, I think I'd like to open the business and make a run of it and a go of it. What kind of led to that decision, and how long a time frame was it that you debated that before you just finally went for it? BJ Pawn and Gun in Denham Springs wants to buy your unwanted gold jewelry, gold coins, and gold bullion. With 30 years of experience operating in the Livingston Parish area, BJ Pawn wants to be your source when selling your gold. So stop by BJ Pawn today for a no-obligation offer. BJ Pawn, a proud sponsor of Local Leaders, the podcast.
So I can remember, like, we started in my garage in January, and I've always, from 16 to 21, I worked at a small tanning salon in Watson, and I always kind of was like, I would love to own my own business. Like, I loved working there, and, you know, everyone, when you work in small businesses, you think, like, these people, like, are living the dream, like, they're being a business owner, it looks amazing. So I was always, a part of me was like, I want to own my own business one day. Well, then getting married and just life took its toll, and I was like, yeah, like, that's not going to pay my bills. I just need to do this, work in this office. So in January of 2019, I started having people in my garage, and I would joke, like, well, one day when we're in my real building, like in my real gym, this is how it's going to be. Like, completely joking, no clue it was going to happen. Well, then I can remember my word of the year, I try to do one every year in January, was fearless, because I was running a half marathon that February in Disney. And I'm not a runner. Like, I signed up because someone said I couldn't do it, and I was going to prove them that I could. So I was training for my marathon. My goal was to be fearless, and I was running my marathon, and I was on, like, mile 12. And there was a Tangled quote, which I love Princesses. Tangled's one of my favorite Disney movies. Yes. And it was like, step out of your comfort zone, the rewards are worth it, or something like that.
Ooh, I like that.
And I can remember running, and, love like, that. I was dying. It was mile 12. I still had a mile to go. Like, that's when that wall hits. And I remember thinking, like, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to open my own business one day. Like, I don't want to spend my life helping someone else build their dreams while mine are going on the back burner.
Right.
Still had no clue what was coming up for me that year. I was like, one day I'm going to do it. Like, I was 27, I think, maybe 28. I was like, nowhere in the near future. Yeah. And so I got home, like, that's kind of when my garage started expanding. And then, like, once I went to the park, I advertised it on Facebook, and I was scared to death no one was going to come. I was like, no one's going to want to sign up. It's 100 degrees outside. They don't know me. Technically, I'm not from Livingston, so I'm not well known like people that have grown up there their whole lives. And I ended up having like 10 new ladies sign up that
Fantastic.
I didn't even know. And I was like, okay, this is great. And I was like, I love doing this. I was still working full-time at a heating and air company. I was also working part-time teaching classes somewhere else while I was doing all this. And then probably like about that July, I started thinking like really hard, like, okay, I need to do something. Like, I want a building with air conditioning mainly because we were all dying. If it rained, we had to cancel or we got soaking wet. Like,
Yes.
It just wasn't something that could keep going like that. And it just so happened one of the girls that came to the gym one day was like, oh, well, so-and-so's moving out of this building and it's going to become available. Here's the landlord's name if you want to message her. And I was like, no way. Like, I'm not to that point yet. Like, that is so scary. So I was like, okay, I'll message her. And I was like, this lady is going to think I am too young to be owning a business. I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, I'm just this girl at the park. Like,
Yeah.
So I messaged her and I ended up meeting with her. And I was still kind of like on the fence. But I was like, if it happens, I know it's meant to be. Like, if everything goes through, like, that's just the Lord telling me this is the timing, even though I'm scared to death. So I ended up meeting with her, and she was like, well, she'll be out in November of this year, so then you could move in then. And I was like, okay, that's like 5-6 months. Like, that's still really close, but okay, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Well, then she messaged me, like, this was mid-July, the end of July. She's like, she'll be out at the end of August, so you can move in September 1st. And I was like,
You're like, slow down.
I was like, excuse me? Like, immediate panic attack.
Yeah.
Because, I was, like, I loved my job. I was making good money, and I knew I'd have to somehow cut back on that in order to focus on my business. So then I was like, how do I tell my bosses? Like, I'm opening up this, but they're going to think I'm crazy for doing this. So then I moved in, like, September 3rd was my first opening day. Scared to death, didn't know who was going to show up, what was going to happen, but we did it. People showed up. People are still showing up, so it's good.
I love it. And I can totally relate. I mean, to that entire thing. Most business owners, I'm sure, can, but it's a scary thing. I don't care who you are and how confident you are and all those sort of things. There's always that moment where you're like, man, I'm about to be all in.
Yes. So that's
Right.
why it ended up being Fearless Fitness. Since Fearless was my
Love
word of
it.
the year, I kept telling myself, okay, I have to be fearless if I'm going to do this. And so
Yes.
it just stuck.
And I've of course, talking to people about you coming on the show, I would say Fearless Fitness, that mention the name of your company. And everybody's like, oh, I love that. I love the name. I love the name. So
Good.
Kudos on your word of 2019 that it.
No word
was a
has
great
compared
name.
since then. Like every year I'm like, I can't beat Fearless.
Yeah, no, you can't. William Waldrep of TWFG Insurance in Denham Springs can service all of your insurance needs. Offering auto, life, health, and commercial insurance, William Waldrep of TWFG Insurance is a proud supporter of Local Leaders, the podcast. So let's talk about, that word fearless. And you mentioned that just now and how it became kind of your word. But how important is that word to you? Like it seems like it's got a lot to do with your personality and how you want to be. And I would imagine this is a word that you try to instill in your clients and things of that nature.
It is. It means, honestly, when I chose it, I didn't know it would mean as much to me as it does now, just because I am not a risk taker. I'm the comfort zone person. I play it safe. I like knowing what's going to happen, having it planned out. So to have to be fearless, and it doesn't mean I'm without fear, because I'm still scared to death every single day of owning a business and doing this and doing it the right way. But just to face my fears and come at it and just fight head on.
Yes, and it's bravery. We are all going to have that fear, but the difference between, in my opinion, the difference between kind of leaders and people that are not leaders is the fact that leaders will still do it. Mm-hmm. They'll have that fear, but they will still go do whatever it is they're needing to do. which is exactly what you did. Of course, you were nervous about it, scared. You were comfortable in what you were doing. You did it anyway.
I did. And I try to tell my ladies, and I know I was that person. My first group class, I was scared to death. I might be an extrovert when it comes to teaching. When it comes to doing new things and being around new people, I am 1,000% introvert. I need someone, I need my wingman beside me to kind of distract me, my phone, something. Yeah. And I can remember my first class being scared to death. I pulled in the parking lot and immediately pulled right back out and went home because I was just too nervous to go in a class full of other people and work out in front of them. Yeah. So I tell my ladies all the time, I'm like, I know you're scared. I know it's nerve-wracking to come in your first class, but you have to be fearless with it. And once you get involved, and there's a lot of ladies that have realized, I am fearless. I can do this. It is easier to do.
Yes, absolutely. Now, you open up your gym, and I do want to kind of ask you about your husband. And obviously, this was a decision you didn't, you're married, so you didn't make it necessarily on your own. I'm sure you had a conversation, and how supportive was he in that decision?
He was very supportive. He, from the get-go, was always you should just go do it. You'll never know unless you try. But, that's his personality. He is just go with the flow. Nothing ruffles his feathers. Yeah. He's just living the life. Yeah. I, on the other hand, am not like that. So anytime he'd be like that, I'd be like, no, you just don't understand.
Quit encouraging me.
Yeah, I was like, you don't get it. I just can't quit my job. I can't just open this. This is a lot. Yeah. And he's like, you just need to do it. He's like, everything's falling out into plan. You can do it. You love it. It's something you've wanted to do. So he was 100% for it.
Awesome.
He was the one that actually was like, fearless fitness sounds good, since that was your word of the year, make it fearless fitness.
Yes.
And at first I was like, yeah, that's kind of lame. And then once I kept saying it in my head, I was like, oh, you might actually be onto something.
He came up with a good one.
He did.
Everybody loves it. Good job. So you decide on the town of Livingston, and this is something that always intrigues me. So, as business owners, we go through all the things you just described. We try to find every reason that it won't work. And then, and when you're meant to do something, you're kind of pushed into that, whether you like it or not. Faith will find a way. And eventually you decided to go to Livingston to open your business. That's a big aspect of business, especially in your industry, is where do I want to put it? Because if you pick the wrong spot, or at least in our mind, we're thinking if we pick the wrong spot, we could do everything right and it still not work. Or, location, yes, as they say. So why did you choose Livingston, the town of Livingston, in which to open Fearless Fitness?
We had recently moved to Livingston. We liked the small town feel. And there wasn't anything like it. There's one Anytime Fitness, that's it. There's no other. In Denham and Watson, there's pretty much fitness studios within a couple miles of each other.
Yes.
I am a huge fan of ladies only. I love the idea of ladies supporting other ladies, cheering each other on. And I had seen, teaching through classes, the impact that has on people. People you would never be friends with, you could all of a sudden have your gym bestie because y'all would cut up during class and build relationships that you never would have thought you would have. Yes. So, and then being at the park and seeing all these ladies enjoy it. And there's so many people that tell me, if you weren't open, I wouldn't go to the gym. I've never stepped foot in a gym. I don't like working out in front of people. So I liked that it was something the town of Livingston didn't have, and it was something that I could offer to all the ladies.
Absolutely.
A place just for them to come, work out, not feel judged, not worry about the guy grunting next to them at the gym, slamming the weights down. They're able to come and talk to people and have fun and cheer each other on through class. And I'll have one group of girls, every time they're like, you can go heavier, you can do that, you can do this, grab those 30s.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a fun atmosphere with all of them.
Yeah, fantastic. So you open up your gym in Livingston in September of 2019, and I would imagine, just as soon as you were getting your feet out from under you, about 5 months later, COVID hits. Now, gyms to me were the part of what I would call the big three that really felt the brunt of COVID. I would include restaurants and beauty shops in that. What was going through your head when the shutdown orders just started happening all of a sudden?
I was in a panic. I had just started in January of that year. I went full time with the gym. Up until from September to December, I was still working part time at my other job. And in January, I had decided I was going full time, like no extra money, like just the gym money. And I felt like everything had been laid out, like this is what was meant to be, like the Lord had worked everything out. So then like March rolls around and like it was, my birthday is March 13th. We had gone out of town for my birthday. We got back and March 17th, we got the orders that, you know, we had to shut down. Oh. And I remember like on our trip, people would talk about it and I'd be like, whatever, like I don't want to talk about it. Like we're not going to shut down. Like I'm not thinking about it. Like this is crazy. And then we had to shut down and I was scared to death. I remember I would sit on my couch and I was used to getting up at 4:30 a.m. every day, like going, I interact with people all day. That's what I do. Like I'm their cheerleader. I'm around people. So going from not having that, like being stuck in, my husband was an essential worker, so he was still going to work. I was stuck at home. At the time, we only had 7 dogs. So I was stuck at home with these 7 dogs, like not getting in and interact, like thinking like, what in the world? Like I just started this business and I'm already a failure. Like we had to shut down. Like I can't do anything. Yeah. At that time, it was like, you know, you can't be next to anyone. Like you can't even go on walks.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, we can't go to the park. Like I was scared to death.
Wow. I can only imagine, especially in your circumstance, what that feeling was like. And it's almost impossible for me to find like a silver lining with COVID. But if I did find any silver lining positive thing for business owners, it would be that it forced business owners to kind of innovate. Restaurants, for example, they added drive-throughs. That they built beautiful outdoor patios. What did you do kind of to innovate? Because I would imagine there's a point where you said, okay, this is happening. I've got to go ahead and take ownership that it's happening and then figure out how am I going to innovate this? How am I going to continue on with business in the midst of this?
So I had already like planned, like when they started, like that Monday they started talking about shutting down, I had told people, I was like, somehow we're going to do something. Like we're not just going to stop. So like that Wednesday was our last class and I had already set up a private Facebook group for every single member to join where I told them I was either going to post workouts, we were going to do something. And it ended up like I started every day at 9:30. I went virtual. Like I had ladies coming to get equipment from the gym that didn't have anything, so they couldn't have excuses of no equipment. They couldn't work out. I went virtual live every day at 9:30. That way we could all join in together. Everyone could comment that they were doing it with me. So it was almost like a class, the class atmosphere, just without people in there. So I was doing that. We were doing it from home. And at first it was just normal members, like just my monthly members. And then I ended up opening it up to people that just couldn't go to the gym. They didn't have anything to do. They could join and also do the workouts with us. And it's still going on. Like I still every day post. I have a couple members from like Colorado, Florida, that hop on and work out with me every day.
Fantastic. Yeah. So you innovated. You did what business owners do. You know, they find a way and thank goodness for Facebook and all those things. Yes. You know, I was telling someone shortly, but well, it was probably in the middle of, 2020 when everything was going on. And I said, if it were 10 years ago, there would be no Zoom. There was no Zoom. There was Facebook was around, but it wasn't anywhere near the capability it has now. What would people have done? I don't know. But I mean, even just from a Zoom standpoint where people were Zooming meetings at work, I mean, thank God for technology.
Yes. Because
us as business owners, even major corporations, they couldn't have functioned in a COVID environment without a Zoom or without a Facebook. So, so great job on innovating that. And you kept most of these things around. And that's an interesting thing is that it almost, it was almost, a good idea to have these virtual Facebook workouts, I guess you would call them.
Because it definitely would not have happened if I wouldn't have had the option, because I hate filming myself. I hate being in front of the camera. So having to do that every day, it took me I know. It took me like a year to get used to it. And if COVID wouldn't have happened, I would have never just jumped in and did it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm so glad that you were able to innovate that and keep going, and sign of a sharp business owner, if you ask me. Planet provides a full range of residential and commercial landscape services, including plant and tree installs, grading and drainage, patio paver and retaining wall installs, and much more. Reach out to them at 225-252-4905. Planet, they are a world apart and a proud sponsor of Local Leaders, the podcast. So, in your questionnaire, I asked you to provide a why statement on your business. You said, my why is to help women learn to be confident in their bodies and help them to enjoy fitness. I wanted Fearless Fitness to be a place where any woman can walk into and immediately feel welcome, like they fit in. Now, let me say this before I go any further on that. That is important, isn't it? Mm-hmm. That women feel comfortable. It is a woman's only gym, and half your job is probably to make these ladies feel comfortable, right?
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
And I would say probably 80% of my people had never worked out in a gym atmosphere. Some of them had never worked out in general.
Yeah.
So it is very important to make them feel comfortable, to make them feel welcome, and to build that confidence. Because some of them start they're like, I'm not going to wear a tank top. Like, I just can't. I don't wear tank tops. And then by 3 months in, they're coming in with their tank tops. They're lifting heavier weights.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can see it just in their confidence, and maybe I'm a huge fan of gym clothes, obviously. But, just they might start in baggy t-shirts and shorts, and then they go to leggings and a tank top. You can tell their confidence is growing.
Fantastic.
Just in their workouts, in their appearance. You can tell it in their faces.
Yeah.
And that's just really important to me, that they all, if they don't get anything else from Fearless, just to get that confidence.
Yes. And it's a judgment-free zone, I would imagine. Yeah.
It is. We are judgment-free. We have fun.
Awesome.
We all support each other.
So I want to continue on with your why statement. You said some women may be struggling with things we may never know about. Fearless Fitness is so much more than just exercise. It's a safe place, a safe space for women to talk and have the support of other women. I want to be able to help them mentally, physically, spiritually. It's a place where women can laugh together, share wins and losses, or even cry together if they need it. So that's pretty honest and emotionally driven.
It is. I'm going to tear up just thinking about it.
Yeah.
I typed it out, but listening to it, I'm like, oh my goodness.
It sounds like it came from the heart.
Yes.
And what I love about what you do is there's so much emotion tied into it beyond just working out. Mm-hmm. You're changing lives, right? And that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing to wake up every day and you feel like that's your mission, is to make ladies more comfortable in doing things that make them happy. So shout out to you.
Thank you.
Fearless Fitness offers a bunch in the way of training, right? It is a woman's only gym, as I mentioned, in Livingston, and moreover, the only gym in Livingston that offers classes. Mm-hmm. Mentioning that access to a trainer is a huge part of what separates your business.
Yes.
Tell me about the importance of having a trainer, especially when you've never really worked out before.
It's very important, especially if you've never worked out. You don't know correct form. You don't know what to do. A lot of women, if they do go to a gym without a trainer, they're walking on the treadmill because they don't have a clue how to lift the weights, what moves to do. They can injure themselves because they might be going too heavy. They might not see results because they might be going too light and not pushing themselves. So in our classes, you have me there supporting you every step of the way. I'll tell you if you need to drop weights. I'll tell you if you need to go heavier, if I think you can go heavier. I will correct your form. I will motivate you. And there's the accountability factor. If you walk in anytime, you are just going to be like, okay, well, I can leave. Like, I did 5 moves. This is lame. I'm done.
Yeah.
With us, you have to show up because you're paying for it.
Sure.
For the most part. Some people don't. But, and as you come, you build this friendship with people. So, they're going to be like, well, where were you yesterday? We missed you. And it kind of helps keep them accountable to come. And the more they do it, the more they enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, you might start off hating it, but if you stick with it, you're going to get better and you're going to learn to enjoy it.
That's
and
right.
It's nice to have the trainer to push you. I'll kind of check in with some of them if I haven't seen them in a couple weeks. Like, hey, just making sure you're alive. Like, make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
And just keep them accountable.
Yes. And there's a comfort factor with having a trainer there, especially when you're doing something that is way out of your comfort zone. Maybe you've never worked out before. Or maybe you've done, cardio aspects of working out, but you've never done weights or things like that. That's where you come in. I mean, that's your expertise. And you can really hurt yourself if you don't know what you're doing or you're lifting incorrectly, especially like back problems and things like that. But you also bring up another good point in that maybe someone's going too light. They're not going heavy enough. Well, you're going to spot that. Or vice versa. Maybe they're going too heavy.
Yeah.
And so those are one of the many advantages of working with a trainer. And the great thing is at your studio, it's an in-house trainer there for you all the time. That's awesome. Now let's cover some of the vast training that you incorporate. Let's start with the personal training. So tell me about that.
I offer personal training. You come whatever day works best for you, whatever works for our schedule, and it's strictly that person. I have some people that might do like double, like they'll have their friend come and it'll be 2 of them in a group, and I customize the workouts for their goals, whatever they want to work on, what they need to improve on, or if they just want to focus on everything. And they get me for a whole session by themselves, no other person in class. I help them go, like I said, go lighter, go heavier. I spot them. And, we might have a good therapy session every now and then. Like, it's fun. I like my personal training sessions.
Awesome. So and of course you also do group classes. Tell me about that.
We do our group classes. We have multiple class options, multiple class times a day. Those range from anywhere. You could have 3 people to 15 people. So it is a little bit bigger of a group setting. It's kind of circuit style training, resistance training. We have some weighted cardio. Each day we work different things. It's never the same workout throughout the same week. And those are usually between about 30 to 35 minutes, just so people don't have to spend an hour of their time. Moms are busy, wives are busy. It helps them come in, get it done, multiple class times, so they can come anytime they need.
And you have teen classes?
I do. I have teen classes for ages between 13 and 16, which is probably my favorite class to teach. I love getting to work with the teen girls. We have a wide variety. Most of them have never worked out, like unless they played sports or something, but they come and they get it done.
Awesome. And as we talked about earlier, you offer virtual classes.
I do. I have the virtual classes, which is basically I film whatever workout we are doing that day for class. I film it, I post it in a private page, and they get to work out right alongside with me. Like I'm doing the whole entire workout with them, cueing them through their form. I tell them what weights I'm using so they can kind of know if they need to go up a little bit, go down a little bit, and awesome. I do it with them the whole time.
Fantastic. Now, let me ask you this. There's some people probably listening to this, and they're like, I'm too old. I'm too old to do that. And how old is too old to work out at your studio?
Age is just a number. There's no age that is too old. I have a lady that comes, Miss Vicky, if she's listening to this, I'm giving her a shout out. She is my most famous, she is the most famous person on my Facebook, but she is my most favorite human in the world. I said she was 67 the other day, but she is actually 69. And she comes and she kicks butt. Like she puts those 30-year-olds to shame. So and then I have some people, like I've had a 70-year-old that came for a while right before COVID, then she kind of slacked off, obviously. But I have 65. Like I have a good bit of ladies in their 60s.
Yeah.
So I tell them all the time. My grandma comes to personal training. She is 74, So, age is just a number.
It is just a number. And that's a healthy lifestyle at that age.
It is.
And so shout out to those golden ladies that are rocking and rolling at your gym. Now, Stephanie Berthelot and the crew at SR Enterprise can handle it all, from sheetrock to texture to paint. Give Stephanie a call at 504-432-9284. SR Enterprise, where they spread the paint and you spread the word. How important would you say proper diet is as it relates to fitness?
It is very important. And I will be honest, I just told a challenge group I'm with the other day, I did not start working on my nutrition until probably about 7 months ago.
Yeah.
Like, I've always been that person. I worked out so I could eat donuts or so I could eat cake. And I have noticed the most results within the past 7 months with just not depriving myself. Like, you will never hear me preach keto. You will never hear me preach intermittent fasting or any random fad diet. Like, on the weekend, I'm going to treat myself.
Sure.
But I believe in just eating healthier, watching what you eat. I love Fit Blendz. I go there all the time. I love that they are healthy. They have good food. And I'm all about making sure you're eating enough.
Yes.
And that's the main thing. I have ladies that come in, they want to eat 1,200 calories a day, and that's just not going to cut it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the problem with starving yourself, which I would say that's pretty much starving your body of calories. The problem with that is you might lose some weight with it, but the second you eat again, it's
coming back.
Yeah, and it's very hard to maintain that over the long haul.
And it's not going to build muscle either.
Right.
Like, you might lose weight, but you're not going to tone up. It's not going to build muscle. You're going to be tired all the time. Your workouts are not going to be 100% because your body needs energy.
Yeah.
We need those carbs for energy. So if you're going keto and you're not eating any carbs, you're going to feel like you're dying every class.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. And speaking of Fit Blendz, you brought them up, and I do want to mention Fit Blendz Denham Springs. They can help with everything from meal prep to supplements and everything in between. I love it that they serve breakfast all day, Brittany, all day long. And in addition to that, the best ultra healthy wraps you can get anywhere in Livingston Parish. They are home of the $5 Smoothie Fridays and are an amazing supporter of local leaders. The podcast, Fit Blendz, Denham Springs, fast, fit food for you.
And I want to throw in, if they go to Fit Blendz, I get their meal prep every week. Love it. Me and my husband eat it for lunch. If they get 5 or more meal prepped items and use code FEARLESS, they get 10% off.
Boom, 10% off.
Yes.
I'm going to use that code. I like that. Very good. So shout out to Fit Blendz. Another takeaway in your questionnaire was when I asked you about your key to success thus far in your business. And you stated being real with my clients. I don't try to fake it and pretend I'm some great fitness guru who eats only salad and works out every second of every day. I let others see my struggles so they know that even a leader has to work on being disciplined and motivated. Seems to me that that's kind of a theme lately with my guest. I've heard the term being real in the last 3 episodes. I can't agree with it more. But I would imagine that's very important in your business, that and something that I picked up on with you really quick was you're real, you're genuine. You're not one of these people that walks around, I don't want to say fake, but with a perception that is not reality, that they're basically creating that perception to make people think that all they do is eat salad and, all those sorts of things. But what it tells me is your clients can relate to you.
They can. And I try to make that. I think in the fitness industry, there's just this misconception that, it comes easy to us. Like, we just wake up every morning, we want to work out, we want to eat healthy. Like, it's just our lives, and that's what we love. And I try to make it very clear to my ladies that I might not want to work out that day. Like, there are some mornings, especially after being around it all day, some days I don't want to do it, but I still do it because I know, A, it makes me feel better mentally. B, unless I can tell my body needs to rest, I know when I'm being lazy and when it needs to rest. And also, I don't want to eat healthy all the time. Like, I went to Crumble Cookies last weekend and ate probably 3 cookies. And you know what? They were delicious. So, and I'll be honest and tell them that. I'll be like, you know what? You might have messed up this weekend nutrition-wise, but so did I. It's a new day. Like, it's okay to mess up every now and then. We're going to get back on the train and we're going to get it done. I think it makes it easier for them to tell me their struggles when they know I struggle with the same thing. Like, I'm not going to condemn them if they're like, I had cake this weekend. I'm like, yeah, I probably did too. Good. Our bodies need it sometimes.
That's right. So, love that. Love that about your business. I asked you basically how you would define a leader. And you said someone that is fearless and not afraid to take risks. There's that word, fearless. Someone that will stand up and do the right thing no matter who is watching and regardless of the outcome. Very true. And you did all of those things when you opened your business, right? You took risk. And so you're walking what you're talking. And that's an awesome thing. Very good. Now, how important has social media as far as a role? How important has that role played?
It's super important. And honestly, I'm terrible at my social media game. I've been trying to up it lately. But in the time we live in, social media is everything. Like, that's your advertisement basically, is social media. Especially being in a small town, that's how other than word of mouth, like, social media is how everyone's going to see everything.
Absolutely.
So it is very important. I've recently tried to really up my game on it because I'm realizing that's what I need to draw more people in. Yes.
And it enables smaller businesses kind of to get out there with the larger businesses. The budget on social media is relatively reasonable. So what I love about it is no matter how small your business is, you can still kind of compete with those larger businesses on that platform. And in your business especially, it's definitely something that's advantageous, to say the least. I want to mention some promotions that you have going on. Excuse me. You'll be celebrating your 2nd birthday at Fearless Fitness coming up. So tell me about that.
August 28th, we are going to have a big birthday bash. It'll be at the gym, obviously. I'll be doing a free workout that day for anyone that wants to come. That will be at the park outside, back where we all started. I have a Botox injector coming for all the ladies that like their injections. I'll have a couple local boutiques there, a couple ladies that come to the gym that sell some things. They'll be in there. And then I'll have cupcakes for everyone.
Cupcakes.
And we will have giveaways. I'll have giveaways. Yes, we'll even have cupcakes. So it's just going to be a fun time. We did it last year, and everyone loved it. So we're bringing it back for a 2nd year.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Upcoming birthday. And so be on the lookout for that. You're going to announce some things a few weeks before.
I'll have it on Facebook and Instagram. I'll be posting and announcing who all is going to be there and the giveaways and everything like that.
Now, if you find your way into Fearless Fitness and you mention that you saw or heard about or became familiar with Fearless Fitness via this podcast, Brittany's going to give you $20 off your first month. Or if it's a virtual training situation that you seek, Brittany will be discounting that by $50.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yep. So all they have to do is tell me they heard. Well, they'll have to tell me what the special is, so we'll know they listened to the full podcast.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And a standing promotion that you have is, I would almost call it a try before you buy promo, where your first class is always free.
Yes, first class is always free. They're able to come, test it out, see how they like it before they pay me anything.
Awesome. So let me ask you, let's say some ladies hear this, and they definitely will, and they say, we're ready. We're fearless. We want to go try out Fearless Fitness. Do they need to make appointments, or can they just show up?
They just show up for class. Just bring their water, show up. I would say about 5 to 10 minutes early, just to kind of go over everything. But all they have to do is come in.
Fantastic. And it won't cost you anything for that first class, first class that you take. So check that out. And I promise you'll be comfortable there at Fearless Fitness. Dane Arnold with iTrade Exchange has been enabling small business in the Livingston Parish area to save cash through his network of over 300 participating Livingston Parish businesses. Saving cash by trading services with other exchange members is what iTrade Exchange is all about. For more information, contact Dane Arnold at 225-205-3640 or visit iTradeExchange.biz. I do want to ask you, tell me about Miss Anderson, is it?
Yes.
So
Miss
tell me
Tina.
about her and her influence on you.
She was my old boss. She is like my second mom. I worked at Anderson Bitter for 7 years. I met her at the tanning salon I worked out at before. That's how she found me. And then she got me to go over to her side. And she has been one of my biggest supporters through all of this. Like, even knowing that she was eventually going to lose me and I was going to go off on my own, like, she has supported me. She has encouraged me as a business owner and has just helped me so much.
Fantastic.
Like, I go to her probably once a week. Like, if I have a problem, if I need to cry on someone's shoulder, vent about something, like, I will text Miss Tina.
Oh, she sounds like an awesome person.
She is. She is like an angel on earth.
We did some fun facts on Brittany that we're going to cover here. I thought these were neat. I asked you first, if you purchased a yacht, what would you name it?
I think I put U.S. as fearless.
Yes, you did.
I was like, I'm not creative with that.
She's like, I'm so boring.
Yeah, I'm like, I have nothing.
Fearless is great.
I thought for like 5 minutes straight, and I'm like, I have nothing. Like, this is what we're going with.
Your dream job when you were 12, you said a teacher.
Yes.
You are a teacher.
I am. I ended up being a teacher. Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a school teacher, but that wasn't going to happen.
And you have some teachers, don't you, that you train
I have
and
a
things?
lot of teachers.
Awesome. So if you had a superpower, I got a kick out of this one. She loves superpowers. She loves like
I do.
It's DC and what's the other?
Marvel.
Marvel is your thing.
Yes, I love Marvel.
Yeah. So tell me about your Marvel character that you would be if you had a superpower.
Black Widow is my spirit animal. Like, fun fact, I started, my first group class was kickboxing because I wanted to be able to just fight like a superhero and be able to be like Black Widow and just think I was so strong and tough. And then I did jujitsu for like 7 months because
Awesome.
I wanted to be able to fight, which I'm done. I lasted 7 months. I competed in a tournament 6 months in, and it ruined me. I was like, this is not for me. Like, I am obviously not Black Widow. But
That's so funny.
I tried really hard. I just, it wasn't there. Any stunt double person that does that type of stuff, they're amazing.
Yeah.
But Black Widow is my all-time favorite.
There you go. Shout out to Black Widow. If you could travel anywhere in the world, you would choose England because you have a big royal family obsession.
Yes. I have wanted to go to England since I was little. Like, that's been on my bucket list. Really all of Europe, but especially England.
Yeah.
I love the royal family.
Yeah.
I would hope I could go and just get a glimpse of Kate or something. But I would go to England.
Love it. Love it. I've never been there either, but I would like to go. That sounds like a beautiful part of the world. I know some people that have went, and they definitely recommend it. So also, we want to talk about one thing with Fearless Fitness is they don't just focus on one type of exercise. In other words, it's not just a cardio place.
Yes.
Right. You have weights. Tell me a little bit, just a synopsis of the offerings that you have. As far as you do have a lot of cardio that you do, but tell us about the other stuff.
Yes, we do offer cardio. Like, some days, like for instance, Friday is our cardio core day, so that'll be more cardio. It's never like we're not going to go run in the parking lot. We're not going to jump rope for 30 minutes. Like, it's more body weight cardio. We'll be doing a lot of squat jumps, switch lunges. Everyone loves burpees. That's my all-time favorite. We do a lot of those. We do a lot of core work. But then there's some days, like for instance, leg day, we're going to use a lot of free weights. Like, we might throw in some weighted cardio in with it, but it's going to be mainly weights. Same thing with arm day. It's going to be mainly weights. Some days we might change it up and have a Tabata workout where you just don't know what you're going to get. It's going to be a surprise. There might be weights included. There might be cardio. We do a total body day, which includes weights, cardios. We use resistance bands. I have TRX straps. Some ladies that do personal training, I have a kickboxing bag, and we'll do 30 minutes of kickboxing. So there's just a wide variety. I like to change it up. I don't like to keep it the same thing. Keep our muscles guessing on what we're going to do.
Yes. You turning ladies into a bunch of warriors out there.
Yes.
It sounds like to me. Awesome. So the good thing is, you know, with what Brittany does at Fearless Fitness is that you're not going to get bored. You're not going to do the same thing every day. You're not running around the block every day or jumping rope every day forever. She switches things up, makes it fun, makes it interesting, and I'm sure anyone could enjoy that.
Yes.
And so check that out. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. You did great. You ran with that microphone. Tell everybody where they can find you in Livingston.
You can find me. I am off Florida Boulevard, 14098, Florida Boulevard, Suite C. We're next to China One, if you're familiar with.
There you go.
Or we're a little bit past G&J's, if you know where that's at
Yeah,
in Livingston.
yeah. I'm sure a lot of them do, and so check that out. Shout out your Facebook. And
it is, my Facebook is Fearless Fitness - Britt Powell Fit on Facebook, and then Instagram, you can find me at Fearless Fitness Livingston or at Britt Powell Fit. I do also post workouts on my personal page at Britt Powell Fit, so if you're ever in the gym and you need ideas of things to do, there are free workouts posted on that page too.
Awesome. And the most important part, your hours of operation. What do you open?
Right now during the summer, we have kind of modified schedules with school being out, teachers being out. In August, we will start Monday through Thursday. We have 5 a.m., 8:30, 12:15, a 5:45 a.m., and a 5:15 p.m.
Awesome.
And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, teen class is at 4 o'clock.
What about Saturdays and Sundays?
Saturdays, as of right now, there's no classes. Just summer, we're taking a tiny break. And then it will start back probably August, September at 9:30. Sundays, I am closed.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, and look, nobody's complaining about that.
No, it's the day of rest. They
The
can
day
all
of
have a rest day.
That's right. There you go. She's going to let you off. I do want to thank you again for coming on. I appreciate it. Everybody check out Fearless Fitness and you know, tell her that you heard it here first, and she will give you a little bit of a discount on something. So look for that. I do want to thank everyone out there for viewing and listening to Local Leaders, of Podcast. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share us on all your social media platforms. Thank you to all our sponsors, including Tricia Johnston Realtor, BJ Pawn, Fit Blendz, Denham Springs, Planet Landscaping, Sporting Center, Blaksheep Creative, SR Enterprise Painting, William Waldrep of TWFG Insurance, and Tiffany Sicard of HomeKey Mortgage. We could not do any of this, Brittany, without all of them. If you'd like information on sponsoring or appearing on the show, reach out to me at jim@localleaderspodcast.com. Until next time, I am Jim Chapman, reminding you, love your community, support local business like Fearless Fitness over here, and keep leading. Thank you very much.
Thank you.